channel. Our topic for today is about environmental key policies for environmental protection and sustainability. So, para po ito sa mga nagtitake ng board exam ng environmental planning at sa mga gusto matuto ng laws regarding environmental planning. Introduction, the Philippines has numerous environmental laws aimed at protecting natural resources, reducing pollution, and promoting sustainability. These laws regulate air and water pollution, land use, biodiversity conservation, and climate change response. This presentation provides an overview of key environmental laws and their impact. Environmental planning practice. So, what's this? The Republic Act or RA number 10587 or Environmental Planning Act 2013, July 1, 2013, approved and signed by President Benigno S. Aquino III. This law regulates the practice of environmental planning, replacing the Presidential Decree number 1308. The Act defines environmental planning as a multidisciplinary field that analyzes, manages, and regulates the use and development of land and water sources for sustainable communities and ecosystems. Environmental protection and natural resources, resource management, Presidential Decree number 1151, Philippine Environmental Policy, date approved is June 6, 1977, and signed by former President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. This policy mandates an integrated national environmental protection program requiring environmental impact assessment for development projects. Another one is PD 1152 or Philippine Environment Code. Again, approved June 6, 1977 by President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. It aims to establish specific environmental management policies and prescribe environmental quality standards to protect and improve the environment. The code covered a broad spectrum of environmental concerns, including air and water quality management, land use, and management of hazardous substances. The Public Act 7586 or National Integrated Protected Area System, NIPAS Act of 1992, June 1, 1992, President Corazon C. Aquino established a comprehensive system for managing and protecting various types of protected area within the country. It aims to conserve unique ecological habitats and natural resources. RA 11038 or expanded NIPAS Act, June 2, 2018, President Rodrigo R. Duterte. This law strengthens the NIPAS Act of 1992, which established a system for managing and protecting various types of protected areas, including national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. Writ of Kalikasan, Rules of Procedures for Environmental Cases, AM number 09-6-8-SC, April 13, 2010, promulgated by the Supreme Court of the Philippines. This writ is a legal remedy for individuals or entities whose constitutional right to a balanced and healthy environment is violated or threatened. RA 9147, Wildlife Resource Conservation and Protection Act, date approved July 30, 2001, signed by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. It was enacted on enacted on July 30, 2011 and aims to protect wildlife resources and their habitats for sustainability. RA 9153 or Mount Canlaon Natural Park, MKNP Act of 2001, date approved August 11, 2011 by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. This act established Mount Canlaon as protected area, providing for its management and conservation. Next is RA 9072, National Caves and Cave Resource Management and Protection Act. Date approved is April 8, 2001 by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo again. This act focuses on the management and protection of caves and their resources. It aims to protect the unique ecological and geological features of caves. For the laws regarding pollution control and waste management, RA 8749 or Philippine Clean Air Act, approved June 23, 1999 by President Joseph R. Estrada. This act established a framework for air quality management and control, including emission limits for various pollutants. RA 9275, Philippine Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act. Philippine Clean Water Act, RA 9275, March 22, 2004, signed by President Gloria Arroyo. This act is a comprehensive strategy for the protection and conservation of water resources, requiring water pollution permits and the establishment of environmental guarantee funds. Next is PD 1067, Water Code of the Philippines, approved June 6, 1977 by President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. This code governs the ownership, allocation, utilization, control, conservation, and administration of all water resources in the country. PD 979 or Marine Pollution Decree of 1976, approved on August 18, 1976 by President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. This decree prohibits dumping of waste and hazardous matter into the ocean, inland waters of the Philippines. PD 856, Philippine Sanitation Code, approved December 23, 1975 by President Ferdinand E. Marcos Sr. This code sets sanitary standards for various establishment and activities regulating nuisance and pollution caused by substance, radiation, noise, and biological pollutants. RA 6969, Toxic Substance and Hazardous and Nuclear Waste Control Act, approved on October 26, 1990 by President Consultancy Aquino. This act prohibits the importation, manufacturing, processing, sale, distribution, use, and disposal of substances that pose unreasonable risk to human health and the environment. Next is the RA 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, approved on January 26, 2001 by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. This act aims to establish a nationwide ecological solid waste management program promoting segregation, collection, recycling, and composting of waste. Next is RA 9512 or Environmental Awareness and Education Act, approved on December 12, 2008 by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. It was enacted to promote environmental awareness through environmental education and other purposes. For the laws regarding climate change and disaster management, RA 9729 or Climate Change Act, approved on October 23, 2009 by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. It was amended by RA 10174 in 2012. This act integrates climate change adaptation and mitigation strategies into government policies and programs. Next is RA 10121 or 10121, the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act, approved on May 27, 2010 by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. This act established the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council as the lead agency for disaster-related programs. Land use and mining and forestry laws. The land use. The Philippine Constitution established that all lands of the Philippine public domain belongs to the state. classifies land into agricultural, forest or timber, mineral, and natural parks. Limit foreign land ownership to lease arrangement of up to 50 years renewable for another 25 years. For the RA 7160 or the Local Government Code of 1991 grants local government units the power to enact zoning ordinances, mandates LGUs to prepare comprehensive land use plans or CLUPs. RA 7279 Urban Development and Housing Act, date approved March 24, 1992 by President Consultancy Aquino. This law focuses on urban land use and planning, housing, and settlement, aiming to provide equitable access to land and housing, especially for the underprivileged. Alam ko po na amend na to pero hindi ko siya inailagay. But when we tackle one by one this topic, I will discuss also the amendments. So lahat po ng laws related na nandito, iisa-isahin po natin yan. Yan. RA 6657, Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, including the land use conservation provisions, June 14, 1988, signed by President Consultancy Aquino. This act governs the conversion of agricultural land to non-agricultural uses, ensuring sustainable development and protecting agricultural productivity. Outlines the process for conversion, including criteria, compensation for landowners, and environmental considerations. RA 8371 or Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act or IPRA of 1997, approved on October 29, 1997 by President Fidel V. Ramos. It is a landmark law that recognizes, protects, and promotes the rights of indigenous cultural communities, indigenous peoples in the country. RA 7942 or Philippine Mining Act of 1995, approved on July 23, 1995 by President Fidel V. Ramos. This law instituted a new system for mineral resources exploration, development, utilization, and conservation in the Philippines. PD 705 or Revised Forestry Code of 1975 signed by President Ferdinand T. Marcos Sr., amended by EO 277 in 1987 and RA 7161 in 1991. This code regulates the management and utilization of forest resources, promoting sustainable management and reforestation. RA 10654, an act to amend the Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998 or the RA 8550, approved on February 26, 2015 by President Benigno S. Aquino III, strengthening the country's fisheries laws to combat illegal, unreported, and unregulated IUU fishing while ensuring the sustainable management of marine resources. It was signed into law on February 27, 2015. Bakit magkaiba? Double check na lang natin yan. 26, 2015. 7, 2015. Renewable Energy and Sustainable Development. RA 9513, Renewable Energy Act, approved on December 16, 2008, by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. The Act encouraged the exploration and development of renewable energy resources to reduce the country's dependence on fossil fuels and minimize exposure to price fluctuations in the international markets. RA 11285 or Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act, approved on April 12, 2019 by President Rodrigo R. Duterte. The Act promotes the efficient and judicious use of energy by formulating and implementing energy efficiency and conservation plans and programs. RA 7611 or Strategic Environmental Plan, SEP for Palawan Act of June 19, 1992 by President Consultancy Aquino. This act outlines a comprehensive framework for sustainable development in Palawan, focusing on establishing an Environmental Areas Network or ECAN to protect natural resources. For the conclusion, the Philippines has a strong legal framework for environmental protection and sustainability. Effective implementation and enforcement are crucial for success. Continued awareness and participation of public and industries are essential. Yon, for inquiries, comment, and suggestion, yes, email us o brice.academy.consultancy@gmail.com or message at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. No? Okay, thank you very much and